What is going on? I hope you all are doing well, and thanks for joining in on this talk today, this podcast, whatever you want to call it. All right, I'm just going to be breaking down what I have gone through this year. This year has probably been one of the hardest, most challenging, one of the most difficult, and frustrating, but also transformational years that I've had in a very, very long time. I've been really feeling this year of the snake, and transformation has really resonated. So, all right, this year's a lot. If you are following me and whatnot, you know me, you know that I've been dealing with hypertension. That I've been in and out of the ER mainly through the month of November for hypertension, high blood pressure, mild stroke type of deal. Stuff has been crazy. But in order to kind of make sense of all the health stuff and make sense of the year, I got to take you back and I got to kind of give you a walkthrough. So, if you've had a crazy year, some of this stuff might resonate with you. You may have found yourself feeling some of the same things of transformation, and how hard it's been to let things go or watch things die. You may have wanted to hold on to the point that you fucking hurt yourself doing it and you don't know why. I don't know, but that's a little bit of what I'm about to share with you through my story. So grab yourself something to eat or drink, get comfortable. Let's dive in. So the story, this year started off a little rough. Me and my wife specifically were in a rough place with our relationship. I knew she was not happy hadn't been happy for a while, at least 6 months. Things had been off. She was off. Just shit was off. It was not going well. Really, for her in any aspect. Her and my relationship wasn't going well. Her and the kids' relationship wasn't going well. Her and her job, like everything was just seemed bad. Um, come to find that, yeah, there were some things that she wasn't necessarily telling me and how she was feeling, and what she was doing, and she wanted to stop. And so we realized, or she finally realized that some things that she was using and doing had gotten out of hand, and she needed to stop. She needed to get some control over her life and whatnot. So, the year started off that way, but with that, things were still hard for her, even though she was trying to be able to be sober in a sense. There was still a lot, if you've listened to any of my talks about my addiction journey and whatnot and all of that stuff, it's there's a reason, there's a root on why we typically went to the drugs in the first place or the alcohol. And then there's typically a root and a reason on why you stay there. And so, I've tried to be able to have empathy and compassion for people that they get stuck in those places. Whether it be drugs or alcohol or anything really. If you're doing something all the time and it's not positively affecting your life and those around you, it's all the same shit. It's all destruction. It's all negative. So whatever label you want to put over something, it's all the same, really, to me. I'm not sitting here judging, telling you one's worse than the other, because it's all personal experience at the end of the day. So with that, I try to hold the space and say, hey, I'm sorry, if I've first, if whatever role I play in this, I love you and I don't want to hurt you. And if I have, then, I'm sorry, and I want to get better at that. How can I better support you through this? What can I do? As angry as I was and as hard as the few months were, the disconnection and the separation grew more and more and more. And as I was fighting to try to be able to get in and figure out what the fuck was going on with her, I couldn't. So I tried to put all that anger and that frustration aside for the moment. You're going to come back to it, but aside for the moment, and just hold some space for her and just love her, right? Try to just get into my heart and out of my mind and love her and know that all of the things that she was doing is because she wasn't feeling any love. And if I'm the most important person in her life, then fuck, some of that's got to lay on me. Or at least I know I could do a little better. There were ways that I reflected I could do better. And so I've been trying to do better as best as I can. And so that's how the year kind of started. That was February. Then my mom my mom has wanted to take me on a trip, like a family trip, for my whole life. My mom's never really taken me anywhere besides Chicago to go bury my great grandma, and to Arizona to go see her dad and her brother. My mom's always wanted to take me on like a nice, fun vacation trip, you know. She's never been able to do that, so she wanted to do that, and so she wanted to take me and my family to Playa del Carmen and Tulum, as my stepdad is from Mexico. His family's from Puebla, and so they wanted to be able to show us a little bit more of the authentic culture of Mexico, not Baja, as I've only been to Baja, been down to TJ and Cabo San Lucas, but never into mainland Mexico and anywhere past that. So they wanted to take me there, me and my family there. So we went. We were staying in a nice hotel around the beach in Playa del Carmen, and it was cool for the most part. They kind of have their lifestyle of how they go about things, and me and my family have ours, where we have two children, 11 and 4, and at this time, I guess they were 11 and 4. Our youngest was just going from 3 to 4 in March. So toddler and a boy. And so they get up early for the most part. Our toddler is usually up between 5 and 6 o'clock, and likes to do stuff. And so, especially we're in a hotel, there's the beach, there's all this exciting stuff. So he wants to get up, he wants to get going, he wants to eat, he wants to do stuff. And if that energy isn't given something to do, they become very they can be kind of hard to deal with, because they have all this energy, but they don't know what to do with. So as parents, we got to give them something to do with, And so my mom and my stepdad they're not really quite used to that. So they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get going and go and doing stuff by like 9 or 10." Well, anyways, it was a rough stay, and the way they wanted to do things and we wanted to do things, and plus we were staying in like this hotel, like this big giant like condo hotel thing. It was a giant suite with a kitchen and multiple rooms, and it was a really cool like deal. But the way that we wanted to kind of spend the days didn't really line up, and it was really a tough vacation. We butted a lot of heads, and people wanted to do one thing and other people didn't want to do another, and it was just hard to try to get everyone to do all the same things and be happy about it. So there was a lot of stress. All right, and then second to last day that we were there, I woke up, me and my wife woke up to someone crawling into our bathroom window. And mind you, we're 3 stories up in this hotel. And there's typically only 2 suites on where we're at on this level. And I need airflow, like natural airflow flowing into my sleeping space. I sleep with my window open, it's cracked open, and we had a bathroom window, and it only seemed to crack open a little bit. And I thought, for safety precautions, I didn't know that you could open this window all the way. Well, supposedly you could open this window all the way, because I woke up hearing this like squeaking of like metal. And I woke up and I look, and my bed at the end of our bed faces the bathroom, and I I saw a silhouette of a body halfway in my fucking bathroom window. And if you don't know me, this has happened to me before. This happened to me about 13 years ago, um, and where I was a victim of a home invasion, where these guys came in with guns and everything. Now, at this point, there was couldn't see if this guy had a gun or what anything, but I saw a body halfway into my bathroom window. I got the fuck up. I started freaking out. I went to go and grab this person. Luckily, they were able to slip out of the window because once I got my hands on this person, who knows what would have happened. I kind of go into these situations just seeing red and going into full fight mode. So that's not always the best thing. Last time it wasn't the best thing for the other people, and I didn't want that to happen again. Like wholeheartedly, like I don't want anyone to get killed, and I didn't want any lives lost. Like, you know, I'm trying to be on a vacation with my family, but that really fucking rattled us up. And my wife especially, but I was having such a conniption fit over the whole thing, and my kids were there, and my mom, like, that someone just tried to break into our hotel, and we're in a hotel and spent lots of money to be here, and blah 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 blah. Anyways, so that was like another whole big thing that had happened and took time and was kind of rough with the relationship between me, my mom, and my stepdad, and my wife and I, and it was rough. We went left not happy, not really speaking to each other. And it took some time for us to, you know, kind of get over that whole trip. And me and my wife really needed a vacation from the vacation we just tried to have. And spent a lot of money on and took time off of work and all of this. And it kind of just created even more stress in a sense. We did have a good time. We had some great times and good memories. It was just a lot. It was a fucking lot. And especially, you know, I already suffer from PTSD, and to have that come up, and my wife obviously does too, because she was a victim in the first time that this all happened with us, where we had someone break into our home, our condo, when we lived together, again 13 years ago. So that was really, really rough. And as someone that is newly sober, like almost just like 45 days, for that to happen and all, like, it was fucking hard and has been hard. So we came back, and right after that, we go right into April, and things are not well. You know, and I feel like we're kind of just going over the motions of different things. And it got to May, and my wife was really not, like, things were not good at all for us or in our home or anything. And I told my wife that she needed to quit her job, because I felt that her job, every time she'd come home, she would be freaking out. Like, she just was not her, like, at all. She'd be angry, yelling at everyone, like, all the, when she steps in the door, and I'm like, whoa, 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 you've been gone all day at work, and first thing you come into the door is you start yelling about whatever, like, not a, hey guys, great to see you, like, you're just fucking angry and pissed, and like, you're coming in, and the boys and I are excited to see you, and like, you don't even want to be with us. Like, you want to go upstairs and you just want to go to bed. You just want to go upstairs and you just want to scroll on your phone. And then, like, the moment, like, anyone tries to, like, give you a hug or ask you, like, how your day is, or show you anything they worked on today, like, you fucking flip out. And this is not okay. This is not good. We need to figure this out. And like, we've been trying to be able to get her to see a therapist, and whatnot, to talk about shit, you know. But that's been extremely hard, especially through her insurance. And to be honest, like, you know, if you go through insurance, I honestly, I don't trust insurance. And I'm still in the camp, and my wife's in the camp, and I have a lot of friends that are in the camp that, like, if you go through insurance and your insurance is paying for something, and you go tell your therapist that is being paid by the insurance and talking to the insurance that you're having a hard time and you're blah blah blah, but yet you don't want to take any prescription meds, that they're going to say something, and that something possibly bad could happen. But this could also be that we're in a frequency of doom and no trust and like, you know, so like, I can get how those things can happen, and the lack of trust and all that. But I will also say that, like, you know, our systems have done some pretty messed up things, and there's some stories that be told. So I get that. And I don't just trust anyone telling them, you know, my feelings all the time, because people have used that stuff against us in the past, right? I'm sure all of us have been hurt by someone using something that you've said in confidence or some vulnerable part and use that against you. And I feel like that's a big part of why everyone is scared to be vulnerable a little bit, you know? And that's where, I've been trying to get out in front of anything that I'm concerned or worried or scared that someone might use against me. Try to get out in front of it and be open and say, yeah, no one's perfect. We all have mistakes. We all have things that we're, concerned about. We might not be happy about that we're trying to work on. Absolutely. Right. And that's all that matters. If you get out in front and you're just trying to do the best you can, that's all you can do. All right. Stop fucking up. Stop trying to do the things that you don't want to do. And then we're all good. But you keep doing it and you don't give a fuck, then yeah, then fuck you. Excuse me. But, again, if you've already listened to my stuff, I'm as real and upfront. And, you ever have a problem with someone because of the way they talk, then hey, then stop listening. All right. But, anyways, to get back on track, I told my wife to quit her job. I said, this is not okay. I said, for you to have to go somewhere that you already hate. She hated the people that she worked with. They were not the nicest people. That didn't align with her. It was just not good. And so I said, stop. I said, there's no paycheck that is worth this mental health, this burnout, this you changing into this Mr. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of shit. Fuck. And so she did. She quit in May, and she was home and trying to, figure out what she's going to do and what to do and everything in June. And to be honest, I told her to quit, but I didn't really know what I was going to do, especially financially. Like, we're a income household. And so by her not having her income coming in, was really tough. But I was like, you know what? I'm telling her to do this because this is what needs to happen. And you know what? I'm going to figure it out. And I put all this weight on me to figure it out. I got to work harder. I got to pick up more hours. I got to try to get more clients. I got to do all this stuff. Like, I took on all of this stress, which I want to do. I truly, in my heart, I want to be able to have the financial, security and the finances coming in to take care of our bills so she can be at home and she can be a mother and a teacher to our boys and take care of our house. I know she wants to do that. She's told me she wants to. And so there's nothing more that I would like to be able to provide her with the opportunity to do whatever the fuck she wants to do. Right? At the end of the day, as a man and as a husband, all that I want for her is to do whatever makes her happy. Because me seeing her happy is all that matters to me. That is my love for her. And yeah, I think that's the most important thing about love. It can be hard, especially if they don't want to love you and they want to end up loving someone else. If you truly love them, you want them to be happy. So let them go, right? I've been through that. I've had to work through that, but it fucking sucked. But honestly, it's love. That's that. You don't own anyone. No one belongs to you. You don't have any property, really. Right? So we just have the experience and the moment, the present moment that you have with that individual or that thing or that place or whatever. So do what you can with it, right? And I think honestly, that's what the biggest lesson is with this whole thing. So anyways, I was struggling. I've got all this pressure of trying to figure shit out. She's got no money, and I got no money to really give her because all my money is going towards the bills. If she wants to take my kids to go do anything fun or anything like that, I don't have any extra money. And she doesn't have any money to go do that. So that's tough, especially as a parent. Our kids are being primed to be consumers, and all they want to do is go places and buy things. And it's fucking hard. And so, when you don't have money to do those things, it's really fucking hard because then your kids just make things hard. A living fucking hell. And if you're a parent, you know how they can do that very easily. If you don't even try to imagine it. Don't even go to that place. You don't need to add that into your life at the moment. You'll get there whenever that comes your way. But anyways, it was hard. It was a lot of pressure. So our relationship started, it took another turn, more obstacles, and shit was fucking hard. A lot of arguments and a lot of me trying to do whatever it is I thought like I needed to do, which was promoting and sending emails and messages to other people to be able to try to get more clients and get more classes and make money the way that I was making it. I was chasing money and not really chasing and doing, not really serving and not really creating in the way that I should. And so that just brought in like everything was from a frequency of lack and scarcity, if I may be clear. And that's why nothing was working. That's why I was just getting frustrated because everything was from that frequency than what I was doing. I was in a fight or flight frequency because of everything that was going on. And I'd been stuck in that fight or flight frequency for a long time, regardless of what I was posting out on the outside, regardless of how much I worked out and what breath work stuff I was doing and everything I was doing and what I was eating. And like none of that shit mattered because what woke me up every day was what mattered. But I was not addressing that. I was actually kind of like using that as my fuel. That is what my being was of that day, was lack and scarcity. I need to go make more money today. I need to make more money today. I need to make more money today. I don't have enough. My wife isn't at work. My kids want this and I can't get it for them. I can't do this. I can't do this because I don't have enough money. I've been stuck in that place for such a fucking long time. And I was selling myself. I was putting myself into a box to be able to get the only money that I had my way or to work with the only people that I felt like that I could work with at that time in my life. And I was becoming angry and bitter because like I was forcing myself to do things that didn't truly align with me. I was just continuing to chase this fucking dog. And so honestly, the things that really made me happy in life, like, weren't even bringing me happiness anymore. Like me writing music and playing music with like my friends, like my brothers, like I was not happy. I was angry and frustrated and annoyed and pissed and just like blah. Couldn't even be present. There's always something, some negative thing that I could think up with, and that was it, and it just fucking sucked. So things got worse in July. My wife started telling me she wasn't feeling good, and honestly, I felt like it was because I was going to go play music. I honestly felt that she was trying to tell me she wasn't feeling good because she didn't want me to leave and go do something that I love. And I felt that like I felt for a while, especially because of all the things that my wife and I had gone through that I mentioned earlier. I was in a place that like my wife was only like keeping this relationship of me being here as like a safety blanket to her, and like she didn't actually love me, and she doesn't want me to go play music, and she doesn't want me to be me and do all the things that I love to do because she is stuck in this place of herself and needing to feed off of me and my energy, which could very much so be true. I don't know. Um, but I was pissed because I wanted to go play music, and I don't get to play music very often anymore. And I had my friends driving down from Long Beach to go play music in our band and get ready for a show. And she was having this episode and she wasn't feeling good. And something felt off with her heart. And honestly, she had made things up in the past. And I thought that she was making shit up so that I would cancel on my band rehearsal and go in to play music and doing something that I love. Well, that day she ended up calling an ambulance, and an ambulance brought her to the ER. And come to find, she had a very small blood clot pass through her heart, which triggered a very small heart attack like reaction that also brought aware of a hole in her heart that I guess she's had for a very long time, since birth, the doctors say. So it took some time to figure this out about 3 days of her being in the hospital. First, they thought she was having a panic attack because we did get in a fight, an argument, and she was having a rough day with the kids, and it was just a whole fucking scene of just fuckery. I'm sorry for the language, but like it's just messed up. Like it just was just people creating problems out of nothing type of shit. All right. So I just wanted to get the fuck out of the house. I wanted to go play music. I just wanted to get away. Kids wanted to get away, and I hate talking about it like this, but this was just it. This was how it was. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Mom crashing out. Get the fuck out of the way. So, yeah, but obviously there was something more, and obviously there's been something there. And so, she's had to deal with this and figure this out. And it's been one of the hardest things for her to figure out. But she'll tell you it herself. It's been a huge reflection point in how she's been living her life and everything she's been doing and wanting to do and all of this shit. And I told, I was like, look, we can't make this shit up. I tell you to quit your job, and then you end up having a heart attack, and you find you have this hole in your heart and all this shit. Like this is the universe just playing out its amazing show, and it's just having to play it out in this way because we don't want to fucking listen. Like we never want to listen to like what the universe is trying to tell us to do. Like, I know I'm a stubborn ass fucking Taurus, and I like consistency, and I get very comfortable in my consistency. And when things need to be changed, I don't like to change, and I will resist and try to stay loyal to that consistent effort that I was putting into that thing that I'm now comfortable with for forever, until the universe comes up, smacks me upside the head with a 2x4 and says, hey, mister, the bus is going this way now. So I feel like she's kind of had to do the same thing. Because long story short, she went in and she got her heart fixed. They put a mesh lining in to seal up the hole, and things are going better. But she got to have about 6 months home paid. She got on disability and she was paid. So, really the universe answered my question of her allowing her to be home and like to bring in that income to help out. We also decided to homeschool our children. I forgot to mention that too. We decided to homeschool our children. So like during this period of time of her going through all her heart stuff, like school was starting, and now like I've got to not only like continue to work and do everything that I was doing and like be all fucking freaked out about money and working and like just all of this shit, but now school's starting, and like my wife is in and out of the hospital and staying at her parents' house, and I'm dealing with my kids and running them over here to stay over here for a couple days and over here for a couple days, and like it was just absolute madness for me. And yeah, it was really fucking hard to try to manage everything. And I could feel it and how it was starting to affect my body. But I had to do what I had to do. I had to, I saw all the emails coming in, and like when you decide to put your children in homeschooling, you can't just like, oh, I changed my mind and like put them back into school, especially with my 11-year-old. Like when we had to send a letter to the school saying, hey, we want to de-enroll our child from public school, and we're going to homeschool them. And again, like how I mentioned with, seeing a psychologist with your own insurance, me and my wife are also a little concerned about what we tell people we're doing in parenting our children, because we've seen, children get taken by the government, and it seems like they enjoy doing that in certain circumstances. So for us to pull our children out of school and saying we're homeschooling, like I've been concerned about the outlook, how the world is going to be looking at us doing that. So I wanted to make sure I got everything right. I wanted to make sure I was doing it right, and it put a lot more stress on me, and my capacity was already pretty much gone. I didn't have any more capacity. There was probably 2 times where I cried because these teachers were like, or these like facilitators of these homeschool charters were like, hey, we need all this stuff. Your children aren't in here. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I got to find birth certificates and proof of residency and all this shit. And like, I got to fill out these forms, and these got to get emailed here. And just like, oh my God. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing at all. And so finally, in like the end of August, I was like losing it. And like my wife was finally like, she got through her operation. She put the mesh in, like it'd been like 2 weeks after she got the mesh in. And I was like, sweetheart, I can't do this anymore. Like, I really need your help. And, you know, she'd been very humbled with everything. She's, you know, and so she was like, hey, no problem. Like, let's do this. I'm sorry. Like, you've had to do all this. And so, like, that was great. And, like, quite honestly, like, my wife, like, I honestly think this was the best thing that had ever happened to her, because it really allowed her to do the transformational work that she's never really been able to do, and just really transform. Um, and I've been very happy with what she's been able to do. We're still working on things. Like, again, no one's ever going to be perfect, but just how far she's come from all this is amazing. The teacher that she's been able to be for, you know, our boys, I am so grateful for, and I admire so much. So truly am thankful. Um, but as we're going through this, you know, things have been okay. You know, I've still been chasing the dog, still doing the same things, still, you know, in this scarcity and lack, and trying to, again, the best way I can describe it is just fucking chasing the dog. Not really doing what aligns to me, not really honing into the life and the world that I am here to live and create. Um, and then recently, my grandpa died. My grandma died last year, and then my grandpa just passed away. And for me, my grandpa and my grandma were like my second parents, in a sense. If you know my story, my parents got a divorce and stuff right around 12, 13 years old when for me, and things were rough. And so having that aspect of family stability, and like my childhood home, and like all these things, like I'm a very nostalgic fucking guy. Like, you know, like I wish I still had my family home that I grew up in. I wish I had a friend, like a best friend from like, and I knew have known from kindergarten. Like like, you know what I mean? Like I still got my Legos from like when I was a kid. So like there's so much nostalgia that I still hold on to, and that still means so much to me, here in 2025, as we come down to the last days of 2025, you know, all the way from the 90s. And for me, my grandparents held like the last like bit of that nostalgia for me, and mainly like just who they are, but also like their place. They had a property out in the mountains, that I spent a lot of time at. And for me, it was always this magical place away from the city, covered in trees, and they had a natural spring, and it's just a place I can get lost in, and this magical world. And I could just completely just separate myself from all the bullshit that, you know, the city and my parents fighting and arguing and just all that. It was just amazing place. And then as I got clean and sober, and I broke out of my addiction, that was a place where I went and I lived at for a while. And that's how I got sober and cleaned up my life and changed in that transformation. And so, you know, it was a special place for me, really special place for me. And my grandpa was the type of guy that, you know, he was rough and tough, and he was a cowboy type of dude. And my mom never really wanted me to hang out with him or go do the things that he wanted to do, because she was scared I was going to get hurt. She's scared I was going to scrape my knees or break an arm or just hurt myself. And so she always kind of kept me away from him, and didn't want me to always go out and do the rough, tough stuff that like he was doing and working on the property. And they had a big property out in the mountains, so there was always something to do, to work, you know, chainsaws to cut out the tree, or hammering this down, or fixing this, or hopping in the backhoe or the tractor and moving this over here, or driving the go. Like there's just, you know, outdoor shit, man shit. My mom was a helicopter mom and was scared I was going to hurt myself and didn't want me to do that. So, you know, I had to deal with that. And so as I got older, I spent more time out there. You know, he was the dude that like I went to look at as like a mentor on like building shit and using my hands and just like really being a man physically, you know? And my grandma was a Taurus like myself. Her birthday was just a few days before mine, and so if there was anyone that like really understood me spiritually and like emotionally and everything, was my grandma. Like my grandma knew all the time exactly how I felt, and like there was no one that really I felt understood me in the stubbornness and hard-headedness, that I had. But we always said that we are stubborn and hard-headed to stick to our commitments and to stick to our loyalness to the things that we commit to. And, people didn't always see that. So she was someone that really understood me more than my own mom, really, in ways that I can't really explain. And my grandpa was, really the dad that I really always wanted, the father figure to be able to take me out and you know, on an adventure. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my parents so much, and they've taught me so much, and from a different angle. But like when I really look back at like how much they were there for me, and like who they were, and now that they're gone, as I go through, you know, days where shit happens, and first instinct, I want to talk to my grandma, or first instinct, I want to call my grandpa. Like they're not here anymore, and like how my first instinct is to go to them than my parents or anyone else. Like it's no harm to my parents. Again, like I love my parents, and mom and dad, if you ever listen to this, like please don't take it like the wrong way. Like you guys have showed me and done things for me that like my grandparents couldn't. And so like it's not a competition with this shit. I'm just here explaining like me. So, if anyone else can resonate with that, like you know what I mean. And so my grandpa just recently passed away, and it was really hard. Because now they're both gone. And now I'm in the middle of trying to figure out what's going to happen with their property, and it's not, and all their stuff, and it's not good because they came from separate lives before. It was my grandma's third marriage and my grandpa's second or third marriage, and they both, my grandpa had kids on his side, and so it's been a mess. And I'm not trying to get into the mess of things, but it's been very hard with this of them passing and everything. Like I guess they cremated my grandpa and never told me, and I wasn't invited to any of that. And like, so it's been very hard. And so with all of this has led me to where I am now. And where I am now is I'm recovering from hypertension and being in, the hospital, the ER. My blood pressure was in the 180s over like 120, like just fucking high as shit. And it's been a little over 30 days now, and I've been trying to be able to get it back down. But obviously when I was in the hospital, like they checked everything. They checked they ran blood tests. They did X-rays. We did everything besides like CT scans and CAT scans. Like we did everything out, like everything. Like, dude, you're insanely healthy. Your heart is extremely muscular and everything. Like you look great. And so that's why they were trying to give me anxiety medicines. They said this is a mental thing. And from that, it's hard because I'm a fitness coach. I'm a health coach. Like I've been doing this for over 10 years. I've been living, and knowing how to take care of myself for a very long time. I don't go to the doctor. I don't go to the hospital. I don't do any of that shit. I take care of myself. And that could be a good and a bad thing sometimes. I'm not saying that is the way. I'm just saying this is me. And so for me to even go to the hospital was a lot, but I had every single of my loved ones, from my wife to my dad and my mom and everyone, telling me to get my ass to the hospital because we don't know what the fuck is going on. But yeah, I was having what I call an episode. The straw broke. The straw broke on the camel's back, and the amount of pressure that I've been holding and trying to run up this mountain with is done. And my body went into extreme fight or flight, out of my own mental control, because obviously my mind hasn't been listening to my body, to my heart. I have not been, as much as I might have been in my heart space for others and trying to have that empathy and that love for everyone else, but I have not had it for myself. And so how I'm kind of looking at what I'm going through right now is that my body had to do a hard stop for itself because we're done with alignment of the universe, of course, and God, and I think that this whole thing was like, they made me stop everything I was doing, working, the places I was going and working with, the people that I was working and training with, the bands that I was playing in, the people, like everything. I couldn't even have my phone near me. Like I felt like I still had to post on Instagram, and this is again chasing the dog a little bit. And I'm working through this in stages. Like you don't just fucking realize shit day one. I'm slowly. It's been now, like 45 days, and I'm still learning shit about like this process and what is contributing to the way that I'm feeling and how my body is responding right now to the choices I've made. Right? And there's new things that are coming up each day that I'm having to now be aware of and like work with and figure things out with. But yeah, I had to get real serious and figure out, okay, like what is really going on here? What am I forcing? What's the frequencies of the things that I'm doing? Like I had to get more honest than I've ever gotten in my life. And even the doctor that I said was like, hey, like I think you need to go and see a therapist. I think seeing a therapist would do you some good again. I know that you've seen a therapist in the past for your PTSD, but it seems like a lot of stuff like got re-triggered, and it seems like your body's having a hard time to like cope and like get yourself grounded again. And sometimes just talking can help out a lot. And so, obviously she knows that like I'm in a place where like finances are hard and I don't have health insurance. So I'm going through this whole deal without health insurance and paying out of pocket for everything. Already worried about my financial situations and everything. It's been, a lot, but I had to let that shit go. I had to let all that shit go and just know that I was going to figure it out. And I have. Honestly, the universe has taken care of it. I posted a couple things on my Instagram and stuff like that because like I have been posting on my Instagram like 2 to 3 times a day for forever. So again, it's another habit and thing that like I'm just stuck in doing. But like I wanted to come on there and just post me, like what I'm going through, what I'm doing, not an education thing, not like, oh, try this or try that, not like from the coach. I just wanted to be Christian for once on my Instagram page. And so that's what I started doing. And I did a couple videos where I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. Like it's December now, and I'm trying to get my body under control, but I can't work. I can't do things. I don't know how I'm gonna pay my bills. Christmas is coming up. I don't know how I'm gonna get gifts for my children or anyone that I care. Like I don't like. I was really, really worried and scared, and like I would go on there and I would record these things or post a video and then literally put my phone on airplane mode and go away from it because I realized that my phone was a culprit of the anxiety and everything that I was feeling. My addiction of Instagram and these platforms, or just seeing, like tapping my phone to see what time it is, or tapping my phone to see notifications, or oh, where's crypto at, or oh, any new emails, or oh, did anyone update on, like I have been so fucking stuck and glued and addicted to the colors and the lights of my phone that like I need to see it all the time. So a part of this was me getting away from my phone and yeah, honestly, like a couple weeks of me like finally diving into my messages and me finally diving into notifications and comments on some of my things. I had to give myself time. And honestly, there were some people that were pissed off at me. There were some people that sent me some nasty ass messages. Were like, wow, like I helped donated to your wife's GoFundMe before, and you never messaged me and said thank you or anything like that, and you haven't reached out and like blah blah. And I'm like, dude, like I still haven't responded to some of these people because I've had to like I'm allowing the universe to show me the people that aren't really here for me. Sure, you know what, if anyone has ever supported or donated or tried to help someone out, right? It should come from your heart. You shouldn't have to be recognized. You shouldn't have to, any of that stuff. You do it because it's the kindness of your heart. You do it, anonymously. You do it for you because you feel good about helping these people. All right. I've helped to GoFundMe. I've sent people money anonymously because I've wanted to help them. I don't need the notoriety or the pat on the back, or I give people, you know how much free guidance and help that I've given people through my health work. So to have these people come out and be like, I can't believe you never, responded to me, and you never said anything, or you never said thank you for this. I'm just like, I didn't even know you did these things. I'm sorry, dude. Thank you. Like, and it's been hard. And that's another relationship that I've had to have, because that fucks with my hypertension. It's pressure. Right. And a big reason why I went to the hospital, a big reason why my family told me to go to the hospital, because all of my grandparents and my uncles and aunts, they're all on hypertension and blood pressure. They've had heart attacks. They've had strokes. People want to say this shit's hereditary. I'm starting to think it's how we deal with life. How we deal with life, how we react or respond to life, how much pressure we allow ourselves to put on ourselves, what choices we make based off of the beliefs that we've been programmed with from the examples of the people that taught us how to live. Our parents, our grandparents, and it just goes on and on and on. We're only living the examples that we were shown and taught from the generations before us until we say, nah, fuck this. I don't want to be like this anymore. I don't want to have this pressure. I don't want to feel like this anymore. So I'm going to fucking do what I need to do on this journey to figure this out so my children don't have to deal with hypertension and blood pressure. And I'm going to try to figure this out, and I'm going to try to change my ways. I'm going to try to meet myself with the roots of these causes and understand my nervous system and understand what my body and what my mind truly needs, and the place that we want to start to create from and flow from. That seed frequency. No more lack and no more scarcity. Out of love, out of excitement, out of joy, out of all these positive vibrations and things that we like to do. So I'm still working, still figuring it out, but right now, I have to remind myself this every single day, that the universe is giving me the opportunity to figure it out and to let go of the worry, the fear, the doubt, all of that stuff, and just have fun doing the things that I want to do. And, focus in on creating and service. And as long as I'm being intentional with that, I feel that, the abundance will flow. The things I want to do, the people I want to see, the places I want to go, the things I may want to have, the environment I want to be in, it'll come. And so, that's what I've been up to, and that's what I've been dealing with and working through and looking to overcome. And with that, I've been creating and coming up with new ways of service that really align with me, and that I feel that not only that I need, that the world needs, that my friends need, my family needs. And it's not coming from a place of lack or scarcity. It's coming from a place of love, because I want to create a space. I want to create a new frequency, a new opportunity for people to be able to feel these feelings of love, to be able to become stronger, to become smarter, to become braver and more courageous, and actually start living for them. Stop chasing the fucking dog and live the life that you want to live. Free. And so that's what I'm working on. That's what I'm creating. I don't want to say working on. Creating right now. And so yeah, this is what I've been up to. Obviously, there's so much more that I could dive into and talk about, but we're just about at 50 minutes, and so I'm gonna end it here. If any of this resonated with you, smash that thumbs up button. I would appreciate that. That does help me know that my work is being listened to, and my heart is being listen to, and maybe this helps someone else take action and make changes in their life, and if that is something, let me know, comment. Hearing that stuff, holy shit, it's like waking up from the best dream ever. Like, just sharing like how something spoke to someone else or resonated, it means a lot to me as a creator, and me pouring out my heart here. So I would appreciate that. No judgment, no nothing, like just a simple conversation. Start that in the comments, and if you know someone that you know came to mind as you're listening to all of this, send this to them. Maybe they'll listen to it, maybe they won't. Maybe it'll change their life, maybe it won't. Who knows? But yeah, I would be grateful, if you felt any of that and took action on that. And send me a message on Instagram at Christian Borgia Health. I'm looking to make friends, so send me a message there. Let me know, who you are and why you're messaging me, and I'll message you back. But yeah, I'm here to connect. I'm here to make friends and build up a community. And that's what I'll be talking more about in my next podcast here. Other than that, I'm signing off. Sending you all lots of love and just nothing but gratefulness towards you all for listening to 51 minutes of me. Love you.